After days of being battered by the media over Puerto Rico, the president went to the devastated island this week and drew lots of flack from his detractors in the press.
You've thrown our budget a little out of whack because we've spent a lot of money on Puerto Rico, and that's fine. We've saved a lot of lives.
I think it was a great visit. The joke, I think he gives the enemies a little bit of ammunition.
It was bizarre behavior. It was celebratory when this is an island that's struggling.
To me, it's almost like we've lost our sense of what is purely outrageous coming from this president anymore. That is just a strange and unpresidential thing to do, to be throwing rolls of paper towels at people.
Strange and unpresidential. And Molly Hemingway, one might say the president had a few awkward moments in Puerto Rico, but much of the media hammered him as if he's just an utterly insensitive human being.
Actually, it's almost seemed like an alternate reality that many people in the media were living in. You know, you watch the actual crowds. Everyone seems eager to see him. They're laughing at his jokes, which, you know, most people understand how Donald Trump jokes. You get back to seeing how people in the newsrooms are, and they act uniformly hostile, like it was this horrible visit. And it was very weird. You know, as Matthew Continetti said, who do you believe? The people who thought Hillary Clinton had it in the bag, or your own lying eyes? I mean, that was a
How long are we going to keep using that one?
Well, there was already a media narrative, and this is fair to debate, whether the administration was slow to mobilize the media, military on Puerto Rico, slow to make it a major issue, but it almost seemed like the press was primed to write negative stories on that visit.
Well, I don't think it's biased to say that President Trump has a different style than his predecessors, and I think actually his supporters like him for that.
That's not what we heard.
Right, so
Strange and unpresidential and
that's
terrible.
Where I'm not agreeing with everything that you just showed.
Sure.
But one of the jobs of the media is to fact check what people in any administration say, and I think what some of them were trying to get at was the celebratory tone of the president's visit compared with the fact that upwards of 80 to 90% of the folks on the island still didn't have power. He was striking a tone that to a lot of people in Puerto Rico, not to media folks, but to people in Puerto Rico, felt a little bit at odds. I don't think that's bias to point some of that out.
Okay,
and I think it's a fine line.
It's a fine line because you want to deliver hope, and at the same time you don't want to underplay the situation. Now, being able to comfort people after a major tragedy or natural disaster, that's part of the job of being president, but doesn't a lot of this amount to theater criticism? Well, we don't like the way he did it.
Even people who like this president are supporters of him, allies of him, they will say he's not the most articulate messenger always. And I mean, to your point as well, but his base still likes him. They don't mind that about him.
He hasn't been a professional politician who was accustomed to working crowds and giving speeches in this kind of situation.
He's going to do it his way. He has his own style. He has not changed from the campaign that style. He is staying true to who he is. Maybe some people thought there would be a pivot, there would be a change in how he would handle these disaster-type situations. But I think it's staying pretty true to who he has shown he has been, and like it or don't.
I think what happened is the media tried to Katrina him, and they failed, and they were angry. And so when he had a visit and it went well, and you know, this is a horrible disaster that's happening, but the U.S. efforts at repair and recovery and relief are going pretty well, given all the bad things. And so they were upset that they tried to Katrina him. It didn't work.
I think a lot of people would disagree with the fact that they went well, and there were just differences between how they dealt with Puerto Rico and Texas and Florida. And the fact that FEMA has taken off of their website now the number of people still without power in Puerto Rico just looks bad.
Puerto Rico being an island also is a more difficult challenge. By the way, Paul Krugman, the Nobel Prize-winning New York Times columnist, had tweeted that there is cholera in Puerto Rico. Heck of a job, Trump, he said. He later said, I got sloppy. I saw I saw a tweet about cholera from someone I take seriously. I tweeted it out. It was wrong, and I admitted the error. All right, Shannon Pennypiece, Molly Hemingway, Mary Harf, thanks very much for mixing it up today.